Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and maximize this. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah, looks good.
All right, so thank you guys for watching / rewatching / jumping onto the Facilitator session for EdCamp Global. We're really excited to be doing this again. I'm going to say a couple things in the beginning, and then Jamie is here, and Matthew is here also. All right, so I just wanted to thank everyone for joining our little family of EdCamp Global people. And basically, I just wanted to kind of say that it's really important to have teachers and educators like you guys that are joining us because, you know, you guys are the ones that are making a change with your students, and you're really, you know, taking the time this summer to learn and grow and do all of these great things and join these sessions and facilitate these sessions to teach other people about what you're doing. And, you know, it takes people like you guys that are going to make the change that we want to see with our students. So we really appreciate all that you guys are doing. And we know it's summertime, so you know, you don't have to be doing this, but you are. So we just thank you for that. All right, the first thing that I wanted to mention was how to connect with us. There's many, many ways, and most of you have already probably found one way that works best for you. But we have our, on our actual EdCamp Global page, there is, if you go to the organizers page, all of our Twitter handles are there. So if you're trying to connect with one of us and, you know, you're not getting any feedback from us, then go to you can email us at edcampglobal.gmail.com. We're also on Facebook and obviously on Twitter. But the place we're trying to field all of the questions and really anything throughout the event, if possible, is the Google community, because we're also going to be putting in updates and different things there, talking about you know, the competitions hourly, just a bunch of stuff that you might need to know. So I highly recommend that you guys join the Google community, and I'm about to show you that in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it for just, actually I think it's at the end, so I might have to come back to it. But oh, here we go, sorry. So this is the community, and I've been tweeting out the link a lot, but make sure you guys join the community. There's already a couple people that are talking about the different things that they're going to be doing during their sessions, asking questions and things, so make sure. There's already people that are setting up. Heidi's already sharing her session, the link to that, so this is a great place to share your sessions if you want other people to join. You know, and just really use this as a place to ask questions, connect with other people, share resources. You know, it's a community, so that's what it's for. And again, this is how you connect with us. There's plenty of different ways. If you have any questions at all, I know I've had a lot of people asking me questions on Boxer. So any way that feels comfortable to you, we're probably there in one way or another. All right, Jamie, do you want to go ahead and talk about collaborating in the different platforms?
Sure, yeah. And I apologize for the noise here. I'm at my mom's house and people are kind of coming and going right now. So just, if you guys hear any background noise, just ignore it. So we are super thrilled that you guys are here joining us tonight and joining us, even watching this live later. And being a part of EdCamp Global, I think, is just an incredible experience. So if most of you have received, actually everybody here should have received an email from me at some point. So I just want to really express my gratitude of you guys taking that risk and really trying something new. Or if you're used to doing this, maybe even just taking the time out of your schedule on a summer to come and share with others. So I'm really, really excited about that. And we get to sit back and enjoy it and just watch it, and we're pumped. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew, and Cassie, I think that are you still screen sharing?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure to talk about some of the ways that you can collaborate. And it doesn't matter if you're screen sharing or not. Either way is fine. But I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that there are alternatives to keep the collaboration going, because ed camps are really about the collaboration. It's not about us presenting. We're not having presentations. We're trying to make sure that how this is done in a way that is about the communication that you're having globally. So some of the tools that you're using vary, and which is perfect. We want a variety. We want people to go and use and present or facilitate in a way that would allow people to feel comfortable initially, and hope that people try new tools outside of that. So some of the tools that people are going to try are Periscope. Like right now, Cassie asked me to Periscope this, and I forgot to start that as Ed Camp Global. But I don't know if you necessarily want to have my background noise in here. So Cassie, I may not go down that route.
It's okay. I'm Periscoping it too, so I think we got it covered.
Perfect. So one of the things that Periscope that you can do is when you start your broadcast, you can end it at any time. So if you're starting and you have a problem maybe with connectivity, or you set it up wrong where you weren't allowing anybody to collaborate with you, you can always go off and come back on, because what I've linked isn't a specific session in Periscope. I've linked your page on Periscope. So periscope.tv, and I've taken your handle, which I found on Twitter for the most part for everybody, and then you then are basically any broadcast live that you have going on, they'll be linked to. So even if you have to go off and you want to try it out a few minutes before, that's totally fine. And I'm so sorry, my mom has a huge parrot and it's right now. I'm like, hello. Okay, I'm gonna have to show her this later. I have like everybody in my family, but they just couldn't interfere with this right now. But basically what is happening is when you're on Periscope, one of the things that you want to keep in mind is how you're setting it up. So when I go to start a broadcast, if you've never done this before, I highly recommend trying to broadcast beforehand. Don't let your first go-round be at Ed Camp Global. But while you're on, and I enable, just set this back up. While you're on, you're going to want to have your Twitter, if you have your account connected to Twitter, you're going to want to have that connected, because your broadcast then will be live in your Twitter feed. So other people that may not know what's going on, they're going to see it. You definitely, for everybody, whether it's Periscope, Google Hangout, Twitter chat, I definitely recommend you hashtag ECG 2016. And so if you, hi baby, this is my niece. She's joining us. So basically, you're going to want to hashtag ECG 2016, because we have Participate Learning that's doing all of the background stuff. They're going to be pulling all of it together. So if you're a viewer and you're watching somebody's session, you want to incorporate that, you're able to do that there. If you are the one facilitating, and you want to make sure it's connected to all the learning that's taking place, participant learning, we'll have all that together. So definitely hashtag that ECG 2016. Also, a lot of people, when I talk about security on Periscope with kids and educators, oftentimes they only allow people to chat with them that are in their group, meaning I follow you, therefore I trust that whatever you're going to talk to me about is safe. And that's not a bad idea on normal Periscope day. But on Ed Camp Global Day, you probably want to leave that open, because I can guarantee you're going to have people joining in that you've never followed, that you've never connected with. So you're going to want to open that up for the whole audience. At least I would recommend that. If you want to keep it secluded to just your bubble, that's fine. Just be aware that they won't be able to communicate with you or ask questions. It kind of eliminates that conversation. It does open it up for potential problems with hackers, and unfortunately Matt and I know that all too well, don't we, Matt? He's frozen, but that's okay. He knows. Last year at Ed Camp Global, or earlier this year, Ed Camp Global Classrooms was not fun. We got hacked on our Google Hangout like this. Somebody came in that shouldn't have been there, and it got crazy. And that's definitely a potential. So I'm not trying to say don't be aware, but you can block them. So as you're periscoping, somebody hops on you don't like, you can actually select that person and you can block them out. So that's one thing that you want to practice. If you haven't done that before, feel free to block me and maybe unblock it.
You're getting lots of friends on the Periscope right now.
Yeah. But then also not locking it out to just specific people. So those are areas of Periscope that you want to keep in mind. Google Hangout is another area that you want to allow collaboration. If you want them to video chat with you, we do not have that link. The only link we have is what you have right now as a viewer. If you're watching this happen, it's because you've been given the events page. And that's the link that I needed in order to connect learning to your session. But if you want people to join in as a panel, maybe you have specific people in mind, that can't happen until you go in and push start on the events page, go into your Hangout, and then grab a link from there. You can grab the link or share the link with people at that point. That link is, yeah.
Sorry, I did a Periscope on this about like an hour ago. So there is a Periscope where I went through and walked you through the steps, so that's already there. And I think we have a video on the facilitators page about that, right, or something? Maybe?
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of this stuff already in there. The one thing that does change is when I was sharing how to collaborate, I recommended you take the link for your Hangout and put it on the events page in the chat. You know, some of you guys are chatting right now and you're posting stuff there. I put my link there and in the chat. The problem is once this event gets going, it starts trending on Twitter very quickly. And once that happens, people come on and join on that are not connected to education. I see a question from Stacy too. Yes, there's a 10-person limit on a Google Hangout. So if they're joining in right now to actual video chat, so right now it's Matt and Cassie and I, that's 3 of us. So the video chat is 10. But if you want to have, you know, Google Hangout on Air allows other people to watch beyond those 10. That's why we recommend that, but then share the link in your Hangout once you open it up. Do not choose start broadcast until you're ready for it to start getting recorded and start. Because once you stop it, it's over. You can't go back into it. You can't say, oh, just kidding, let's start this later. No, it's done. So that's kind of the downside of a Google Hangout that you guys are doing, because once you've started it, that link is staying current on my Google Hangout on Air. So that's my recommendation. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just mute you if that's all right. Unless I'm not hearing Matthew. Oh, there it is. Okay. But one thing that I will recommend is not putting that in your events page, but putting it in the calendar invite. So people that are supposed to be there, they're going to know about the calendar. And so I would recommend going on your calendar invite. I've given you guys the rights for that. Don't worry about it linking. Just put it in the description. And then once you do that, let people know. So like right now, we're live, right? We're sharing. Start off by saying, hey guys, I'm so glad to see these viewers popping in and sharing. If you want to join in and have a conversation, there's a 10-person limit, but if you guys want to come in and come out, go ahead, and the link is in our calendar description. So they can go in there, they can highlight that link and paste it in their browser, and they can join in with you guys. But I think one person speaking is awkward. So even still, like, invite a friend, invite somebody else, invite one of us. We would love to join in. So, you know, we're all going to be doing this for 24 hours. So if you want to invite somebody from our group, just let me know, and I'll make sure that we have somebody there to collaborate with you. But, you know, that being said, Twitter chats are pretty good. I mean, I don't see a problem with Twitter chats. Voxer is pretty good, you know, or excuse me, yeah, Voxer's pretty good. I mean, you have people joining in. There's collaboration. Blab is very good. People are joining in. There's collaboration. But I would say the 2 areas that kind of turn into presentations could be a Periscope, if you're not allowing that communication to occur, and Google Hangout on Air. And those are big ones. But again, please, please, please use the hashtag on everything you guys are posting, and let the participants know. Use the hashtag ECG2016. No matter what your Twitter chat is, you're going to have your own hashtag, right? But make sure to include that if you can, because we want to have a record for people to reference back to your session in the future, and that's how we're able to tie it all together. I think.
Okay.
Is that everything covered? Did I cover every platform?
Yeah. Well, we have one Adobe Connect. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's something you wanted to.
Well, Adobe Connect, yeah, that link will bring you right into the conversation, whatever rights they're giving you to participate in. Hopefully, if you're doing Adobe Connect, just make sure to open up the rights for people to be able to either type or come in video. So, Matthew has some awesome birds chatting back there, but
they're talking.
You see some of the birds? Where you see birds?
We hear them.
We hear them.
Oh, you hear me? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm trying to find a quiet spot. I guess I'm like you, where there's always something going on. So I can't find a quiet spot.
Do what?
There's some questions here in the Q&A that I'd love to answer if that's possible.
Yeah, I can't see them.
Okay, so on your left, it might be under the chat, in the Q&A.
Under what?
So on the left side, on the chat, on the Q&A. So if I'm looking at my Google Hangout on air, in the video chat, if I kind of hover through the front, I'll see a Q&A on the left-hand side in blue.
I got them. Yep.
Okay.
Yay.
So Joe Rodriguez, he come in 10 minutes before, grab the link, and then add it. Yes, that's a great idea. So he said, what if I go in a few minutes before the actual session and I grab the link and then share that link? That's a great, you can go in there a half an hour. As you guys can see, even before you start the broadcast, people were able to watch us. But what they won't do is they won't be able to watch it when it's recorded that way. So when you actually choose start broadcast, that means it's starting the recording. But while you're in there, people are able to see you. So if you don't want that to be seen, feel free to just keep it muted and keep your screen off. You know, just don't put on your video camera yet. Just opt to not select those yet. Go in, get your link, and then close out the window. So just whatever you do, do not choose start broadcast, because then that's when that recording starts. Stacy said, can you see how many people are watching and tuning in to a Google Hangout on air? Yes, you can. And in your Hangout, you should be able to see on the bottom right corner. Now, I think Cassie started this, so I'm not able to see. Cassie,
it says there's 13 people, and if you're on this Periscope or if you rewatch this, right down here at the bottom it says 12 viewers, if you look at my mouse, and that shows you where it is. So this is where you can see the viewers. And then, Jamie, I'm just going to show the people on the Periscope, because I'm sure Stacy will go back and watch this. At the very top up here where my mouse is, if you want to grab the link like Jamie was talking about, there's a little menu up here. You click invite people, and that's where you grab the link to be able to add people like Matthew and Jamie are on here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I just want to let you know that as I'm answering the questions, I have to let the person that created the event, so that's you guys. When you create your event, you have all the rights. But me as a participant, I can't respond to you guys and then say, okay, that question's been answered. But there is a way for Cassie to do that. She's able to go into the Q&A, and she should be able to say answered or something to that extent. See, Cassie?
I can click on select, and then once I click on that, so I'm going to go to Stacy's question, and I'm going to click on, let's see, select, and then now it says I'm answering it, and then I can click on done.
Yeah, so I saw Stacy's question because I'm watching the questions. That went away. Perfect. People can participate as a viewer. This is coming from, what's that?
No, you picked the same one I was going to. That's funny.
Oh, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, okay. People can participate as a viewer at the event page. I would recommend comments on Twitter with a hashtag. They can also participate directly on the Hangouts on air to talk and share ideas. Yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to get at with you guys doing it here today, because at least for Jamie and I, we found that for our own experiences, last year when we did our first Facilitator Hangout, there was like 10 people, and then like, I don't know how many other people were trying to join on, and it was just chaotic, I'm not going to lie. So I would just recommend, like Jamie said, kind of, I don't want to say select particular people to invite because you want to get that collaboration and you want to meet new people and stuff. But I mean, if there's a lot of people in there, or you know for sure that you want a particular group of people in there kind of as a panel, and then other people can ask you questions, or you can do it through Twitter with a hashtag like you said, I think that's a great idea because it kind of, especially I feel like especially if this is your first time ever doing it, it makes you a little bit more comfortable when there's not all these people going in and out and so many questions at one time, I would say. I don't know, Jamie, Matthew, what do you guys think?
I mean, it just depends on you and what you would feel comfortable with. But that link is what's going to allow people to come in and chat with you.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just like a regular egg camp, you vote with your feet at a regular egg camp. In this case, they're going to vote with their mouse, or they're going to vote with their phone, or they're going to vote with whatever, their trackpad. And so they're going to be able to vote by going to the sessions that really meet their needs. So that's okay if people come in and it's not meeting their needs, or it's okay that maybe somebody else started in a different session but it just wasn't for them and they show up to yours later. But keep in mind, when you're starting a recording, people are going to watch us later. Even if people aren't there right that minute, I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm frazzled, this hasn't started, nobody's here yet, but that's all in the recording. So just keep that in mind. People are going to want to go back and rewatch these things that they couldn't all participate with at that time. So we have more reviews than we do live.
Yeah, I have another question. Nicolette asked if they're doing a Twitter chat, what do we recommend as a back channel? Do you guys have any ideas on that?
If they're doing a Twitter chat?
Yeah, what would you recommend as a back channel?
Probably a blab, because I think a blab is pretty easy. Appear.in is another good one because all you have to do is share a link. Appear.in is something you don't have to have an account for. Somebody can all you're doing is sharing the link, and you can say, hey, while this Twitter chat is happening, this is happening. I've seen people do Periscope, but I'll be honest with you. They have to set up their phone kind of funky because they have to be typing, right? So you probably want to have something on your computer screen to make that easy as a back channel. But I think having video is nice. A Voxer is harder because you're going to be reading on your Voxer and then trying to look at that. But I think probably running a blab on the side and just splitting, having two different windows popped up would be a good option. I don't know. That's probably my preference. I would say that one's okay to just kind of sit there, even if you're not talking for the time being. That one's okay to do it on. But the other platforms would be a little bit awkward to have dead silence. So, Matthew, do you have any idea?
Oh.
Well, I just think that Periscope is a little too hard for when I was doing it, especially as a beginner on Periscope. It didn't have that collaboration feel that I wanted. I wanted more questions because when they ask questions, they pop up and they disappear on me. And so if I could choose, I would still do Google Hangout just because I can record it and I can have it for later. And we can also have the comment section on the side, so they don't have to be on. They can just be typed. We're doing the Hangout.
Yeah. And Claudio asked a question, Cassie.
Yeah.
Asking about the waffle, and he asked if that's consistent, and that is. For every platform, they're going to have that Q&A up in that waffle. But if you guys set up your Google account without opening up the Q&A, you cannot do it. After you start the broadcast, you can't make Q&A available. So that's why for some of you guys have sent me links, and I've commented back saying, this is awesome, but hey, I recommend you open up Q&A. That way, while the broadcast is happening, they're able to communicate, because you can't, during the event, and I've unfortunately had this done on my end, where I forgot to open up Q&A. So how do you do that? Cassie, do you want to show them what that would look like? Or I can show, since I'm not on a podcast, or either one.
Okay, yeah, you can, and then we'll go back to after that we'll go back to the email so we can talk about the schedule, just so we don't go over on time, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so if I go to Google Plus, and let's say this is my session, down here at the bottom before it begins, I'm going to actually go into one of the sessions that somebody's already created. So here we go. For me, I actually see a screen that is color coordinated. Unfortunately, I can't embed it that way unless I have different calendars, and that would be a nightmare. So let's go to that first one. We have the Global Classroom by Stephanie Burns. And surprise, surprise, Steph's going to be with us at night, so I'm excited about that. But here in your calendar invite, if I come over and I go to that link, so if I just click back and I want to view from your perspective, okay? So if I come here to Stephanie's Google Hangout, I select the link for Google Hangout. You guys can see on all of the calendar invites that I have an embed code in there. So that way that people are able to just select that word. So that's why I've told you guys, please don't play with that because I have to go in and customize that on my own. But here, her Q&A is open. As the person that's creating it, if it's not open, it's not lit up. So if I were to go to my events, then I would be able to see, hey, did I set this up with Q&A available? Because if I didn't, then it's not. You know, it's something that I have to. I'm trying to look for one for my own, but I don't think I have any future events. But as I'm going through.
Don't you have one for the first session of EdCamp Global?
Yes, I'm just not EdCamp Global. Let me go change it. Thank you.
While you're doing that, Jamie, Matthew, are you on your cell phone?
Are you talking to Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew, are you on your phone? Wait, we can't hear you. Hold on. Jamie, how do we
I'm on a tablet right now.
Okay, well, we just had a question if you could only watch it on your laptop, but you can watch it on your tablet, and Jamie, you can watch them on cell phones too, right?
Yes, but
Okay.
you have to have the Google Plus, I believe, or excuse me, the Google Hangout app.
Okay, so Claudio, you have to have the Google Hangout app to be able to watch it.
Okay, here we go. So I have the first one, Welcome to EdCamp Global. I would highly recommend you guys go there.
Mm-hmm.
This event is really going to explain to everyone how to participate in the different options that will be presented, as well as the different competitions and things that will be happening throughout the event that really help clarify and explain. So you guys can see my Q&A is open. Q&A is lit up. If I turn it off, you can see that it goes dim. But I want that open, so I'm just going to touch it again, and then up in the right corner, this tells me that it's on. I can see Q&A. These kind of aren't really important. The applause feature, if you want to have that going, just as people are watching, they can give a little bit of feedback as far as, yes, I like that. It's almost like the heart button on a Periscope, right? So I can tap the screen for hearts.
But everybody loves the hearts, Jamie.
Okay, so go ahead and just open up that applause. Open up the applause. And then the showcase is the other one. So I would say with the showcase, that's really not huge, but if you wanted to showcase certain slides going through while you guys are communicating it and talking through it, then that's an option right there. So, but showcase is probably the least used feature in there. Now I'm going to stop screen sharing.
Okay, so do you want to go ahead and talk about the schedule?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want me to show my emails, or do you have something to show?
Well, let me go ahead and screen share again.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and just show. I think it will be easier just to kind of like what I was just showing you guys. On my end, what I am looking at is we have people sometimes only giving me specific hours that they can do this. So I'm putting you on the schedule. And when I put you on the schedule, this is what it looks like for you and I. I've invited you, and I can see right now, Stacy, you haven't told me that you're coming yet. Stacy, come on, Stacy.
Stacy, right. Come on, Stacy.
I know. So Stacy,
come on, Stacy.
I'll have a check mark letting me know that she has confirmed that the time is correct. So the benefit of this is right now I'm in Central Time. 3 o'clock is the time it's going to happen in Central Time. But if you have went into this calendar invite and you're in a different time zone, which is very, this can happen definitely. This is happening with more people than not. They're going to see the accurate time here based upon your time zone. So I love the fact that this is converting to your time zone when you're going into this session. So a lot of people have asked me that. Well, wait a minute. On the actual page for the website, there are different times. And then they realize, oh, wait, this is Central Standard Time, okay? So that's the only, that's it. This is going to show what Central Time looks like on this page. But if you want to change that, you can. You can choose that little plus, Google Calendar, add it to your own calendar, and then it will convert all of these times into your time zone. So it makes it much easier. How does that sound?
Jamie, so Stacy said she's going to do her job now. She's sorry. Can you show me that, because so that I can make sure that I understand what you just did with the schedule?
Yeah.
With what Stacy
Let me
did.
screen share. Let's
Just
do it.
More questions.
Absolutely, yes, because I think that's important. So if I'm on the main website for Egg Camp Global, I come up here to schedule. This is where everybody's going to be working off of. In the past, if you guys participated in our other 2 events, I created everything on a Google Sheet. And that was okay, but not as great. So here, when people are joining in, this is what they see. Now, if they only want to go to this one item as a participant, or even you as a facilitator, you can copy to your calendar. So that could be there, okay? But if you want to take all of this that's happening with Egg Camp Global, you can add it to your own Google Calendar. So if I choose that plus sign, it's going now to add into mine. So here's me, personal Jamie Donnelly. It's adding the Egg Camp Global calendar into my personal. And I'm going to say no because that's going to be wild. So I'm going to say no. But just so you guys know that that is something that is going to, that's something that would be there and going into your own time zone based upon your calendar in Google. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was talking about, you said Stacy didn't do her job. What, did she not add it to her calendar? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, so when I send out an email, I'm sorry. So Stacy, all right, disregard the many emails that I haven't answered and watch all the ones that I have. So here we go. Right here, I'm getting notification from Nicholas Clayton telling me that he has accepted this session. So I get an email, but what you guys are getting is something like this. You're getting, hey, you've been invited to this calendar event. Do you accept, maybe, or no? And so then you'll say, yes, I accept. Even if it's not the right time, accept it. And then once you accept it, you can then have access inside that calendar event, like we were looking at earlier. Inside that calendar event, you can come over here and you can modify who do you want to invite to this. Maybe there's people you want to invite your whole school. You want them to be aware that you're doing this. So feel free, invite them. But what you don't want to do is give them modifying event rights. Okay, I've given that to you, but we don't necessarily want to invite them that way. So you are able to come over here, and again, we talked about going in for a Google Hangout on air. Paste your link right there. Say, hey, join the, say join the live chat here, and then give your link, and you can do that here. So you can customize your description. If that's not the title you want to have anymore, you can do that. You can even customize what platform you're going to use. If you're saying, hey, I'm not going to use Periscope anymore, I'm going to use Twitter chat. However, the link that I have here is to the actual whatever platform you're using. So just keep that in mind. If you change that and you don't know how to get the link for whatever you're going to do, you just need to communicate that with me. And then also, if you want to add somebody to the group, if you're like, hey, I'm facilitating, Stacy and Jamie are going to facilitate together, so I can add somebody else's name here. So feel free to do that. And attachment is a biggie. So a lot of people have been attaching documents and items and resources. And feel free to go ahead and attach that to your calendar event. That way, as participants are joining in, they're able to see those attachments either before, after, or during the session. So She'll just want to accept. Once she says accept, she'll save it, and then once it's saved, it notifies me. And I'm going to say disregard those changes. It notifies me on my end that yes, this has been accepted by email, as well as when I go into that particular session, I can see, okay, yes, she has accepted, also with that check mark. So I can see, oh, this person has been accepted. So.
Well, thank you, because I haven't done my job either. I haven't done that, so. I'm not saying a good example.
No, that's all right. And you know what? I think the biggest part about that is you just want to keep in mind that it helps us know that you're going to follow through. Because we know all too well people that say that they're going to facilitate and then at the last minute don't show up. But that's not good for the people that want to attend your session. They're there to want to collaborate with you and with others on that topic. So if it doesn't happen and it's something that's a demand from the audience, so the people are like, hey, we still want to talk about Google Forms, but this person never came. One of us can jump in and try to get something going, and I can change the link in the calendar event. But that's what we end up having to do at the last minute, and it kind of makes it funky. It doesn't make it seamless. So by you accepting the invite that I'm sending to you, it's kind of confirming, yes, in fact, you are going to do this session.
Okay.
Yep. Are there any other questions that I'm not seeing?
I don't see any more on here, and I think I've got all the ones from Periscope. Matthew, do you have any? Are you here?
I'm here. You hear me okay?
Yeah.
You hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, okay, good.
I'm going to screen share. Do you want to talk about the competition?
One of the things about the... Yeah, we can talk about the competition. One thing about the collaboration, though, that I have just a little note about is when you're presenting, if you don't see a lot of people jumping on all at once, a lot of times it's because they don't know how to join. And they're there watching you, but maybe they're not into that, into that join feature. So they might be watching, and so really watch your Q&A because that's where they're going to have all that collaboration with you. But the hourly challenges, that is where I got hooked into EdCamp Global as a whole, just because I'm a little bit competitive, and one of the things is I'm like, okay, well, I'll do my session. I'm presenting 2 times. I'll do my sessions, and I'll stay on maybe an hour after just to check out something else. But then once I started seeing all these hourly challenges go on, so after each hour, there is a challenge that's announced. And for that hour, between that those few moments, they'll give you like that hour to do this competition, whether it be create a graphic or tweet and communicate with someone outside of your country, or all these topics are about collaboration and bringing educators together and learning from each other. It's a competition, but it's really us gathering all of this information in. And then at the end of that, 5 minutes before the next event starts or the next facilitator begins, they announce the winners. And we have some amazing sponsors, you guys. Really, we have some gold sponsors and some silver sponsors, and they give out some amazing prizes to you guys, and we all like free stuff, right? But it just takes a little bit of work, but what it does is it makes this whole conference or EdCamp Global event that much more of a combined like unity. It made me feel like, hey, I'm not the only one here doing PD in my PJs, or I'm not the only one here creating a graphic. I'm with all these other educators, and I'm building those relationships and creating experiences that I'm able to tell my students about and my other educators about. So there are competitions that are announced, and they could be a variety of different things. We try not to make it where it's a paid app. We usually open up the platforms for your creativity, and it's a great way for you to kind of create new ways of thinking about different items, whether it be creating a collage wall or creating a graphic or just doing something to keep you awake if you're with us when you're with us at that 12 o'clock spot. where we have we might do a brain break, or Cassie's doing, I know, like a Go Noodle event, or we're talking about a lot of different ways that we communicate with each other and have a conversation. You have screenshots, Cassie?
Do what?
Do you have the emails up? Because I can't see
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything about the competitions?
I was just going to say, like Matthew said, we have hourly competitions. So at the very beginning of each hour, we start with those competitions, and we also give out prizes. So the only thing that I was going to add is that as you're going through, if you are at 8 o'clock and there's like nobody there, then don't just jump off automatically, because there might still be people in that Periscope with us. By the way, I don't know if Matthew mentioned this, but every hour we'll do a Periscope from our EdCamp Global, I guess, what is it called? Handle, whatever. Through the EdCamp Global Periscope, and it will be us talking about the prizes and the next competition. So people might be on that for a couple minutes, like 10 minutes, and then they might jump on your session afterwards. So if nobody's there for the first 2 minutes, don't just jump off. Like, give it some time. Give them time to jump on and find your link and all those kinds of things, because we have seen before that people will jump on and then see nobody on a Periscope, and it might be your first time ever doing this. And yeah, you're going to be a little nervous or whatever, but,
Yeah, great
wait
thing
a
is that you know if you're a winner before that next hour is up. So that's a huge plus in my book. You didn't have to wait, raffle. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Do you mind if I mention something about that too? Make sure to follow EdCamp Global on Periscope, because if you're not following us, then you're not going to see us talk about these competitions. But what you will see here shortly, before the event starts, is my bird. But
we're all about the birds today. It's okay.
Man, it wants to be on this Hangout so bad. But basically what you need to think about is, in those competitions, I'm going to put them on the schedule. So you'll be able to see how to participate in this event for the competitions without actually, so you'll be able to see it beforehand. But I'm going to stop talking because this is annoying. I'm sorry. And Cassie, there's 2 questions. Just make sure to address those as well.
Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, Jamie said to make sure you follow EdCamp Global on Periscope. But since we have Facebook Live now, we do have our Facebook group, and I think I've already tweeted them out a graphic with the ways to connect with us and things, but I will make sure to send that out again. Be sure to join us on the Facebook group as well, because we will do live broadcasts from there. Probably the same thing you'll see on Periscope, but I'm just letting you know. You never know what kind of prizes you might get or what kind of competitions could happen on Facebook. Yeah, it is. Oh, Matthew? Did you see that, Jamie? He said the bird is not that distracting.
Yeah, that's because I muted him. I'm like, I had to get out my shotgun, but now you guys got to see how quiet I'll get once we get out.
Okay, real quick before we keep going, Ellen says that she's lost. Is there a way to do a trial run? Yeah, Ellen, you can comment here, but yeah, we can connect with you afterwards. I can email you, or I can message you on Google+. But yeah, we can set up a way for you to do a trial run. Oh, they're the birds. Hold on. Jamie, wait, go back to them again. I didn't see
Oh, no. And while we're showing the birds, one of the things is, if you don't know where our Twitter handle is, or our Facebook Live handle is, or Periscope, just go to our website, the Wix page, the campglobal.wix, and you'll be able to locate us and email us any questions that you have about trial runs and everything like that, because we'll be there. We can set up a time between all of our organizers. I'm sure we can have someone find a time that would meet your needs, and we could do a 5-minute quick run and answer any questions with you there.
Yeah, and then Stacy asked what platform we would recommend, and maybe Matthew, you have an idea. She said, what platform would you recommend for collaboration with audience, but allowing presentation of skills-oriented sessions? So I know she's doing like one on making maps on Google, and she wants to be able to show how she's like screen sharing and making things, but what would you, or she wants to know what we would recommend for collaboration with audience while she's doing that same session, being able to show people what she's doing.
Well, there's a bunch of different ways. I guess I would still stick with what you're most comfortable with. You could bounce back in Hangout, but just thinking about that, if you are having another, and you're trying to do it like a back channel presentation where you're showing a couple different things while showing your presentation and interlocking. I don't know. I was thinking like Blab might be a good idea because you could have two of those squares as one is showing the things that you're making, and another one could be you showing your screenshots and things like that at the same time while getting the questions on the right-hand side. However, the security features of Blab, you might not know who's jumping in sometimes, so that might be something to consider.
That's a good point. Okay, let's see what else we have. I think that's almost it for the presentation. I know we have one more question. Let's go ahead and go through the rest of this. So, Matthew, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay, do you want to do that?
Cassie, you want to go ahead and you can cover up your Hangout as well if you need to.
Yeah, okay.
So that everybody can see the full screen.
There we go.
There we go.
Well, now your screen went away. There it is. Wait.
Okay.
I can see Jamie. I can see Jamie. I can't see Cassie's screen. She's black.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Jamie.
Blame it on the bird.
Nobody else
right?
can see it though, Matthew. Nobody else.
Okay. So you have facilitators do. I see that. We got to move this along. I know.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
Right, but we do have the taglines, which is kind of your lower thirds. Do you want to show her the toolbox or show the toolbox really quick? Or do we don't have time for that?
There's a
We can
video
talk
on
about
the
it later.
facilitators page, so
Okay.
you can just go there. If you go to our website and then you
Right.
click on facilitators at the top.
Do you see a trend here? Everything that we're doing, go back to the website. The schedule's on the website, where you can get the calendar. It's on the website. Our videos for tagline is on the website. And then email us from the website as well. So go to the website. Definitely check it out. Privacy. Privacy is one that you want to make sure, hey, do we want to collaborate? Yes, we want to collaborate. That's what EdCamp is all about, is having that collaboration, whether it be through video with Google Hangouts, or whether it be the Q&A sessions, or with Periscope where they're typing in questions. What are you comfortable with, and how can we maximize the collaboration in your presentation? So that's something definitely to look at. What else do we have in there? Questioning. You got to keep it going. Throw a question out there when you're presenting to people. All these other educators, they probably have questions, or maybe they have an idea of what you're doing already, because maybe they're doing something like it in their classroom. So throw it out there. If you think you're going to end early, throw it out there to the audience and have them start talking about ways that they would incorporate what you're talking about.
Another thing we have on there is planning your location, which Jamie is a great example of today, because she has lots of background noises and birds. So make sure that you know like a good quiet place whenever you're doing your session, just so that those kinds of things are not going to be a distraction. Jamie, we're giving you a hard time.
It's good. Yeah, and then also the back channel, and the back channel is, again, for collaboration. And what we mean by that is have another means of communication, whether it be if you're on Google Hangout and you think that you can run a Twitter chat during your facilitation, and have a Twitter chat going on where you can post questions, or if you use something like Twitter Time Machine, where you can post questions every couple of 5 minutes and have that planned out. That'd be a great way to get another audience that can't jump in because of the restriction on how many people can join your Hangout.
But it is very confusing. If that's not something that you feel comfortable with just doing one of those,
Right.
you probably would have a hard time doing both of those. So just keep in mind that's more of that expert level, somebody that's used this regularly, trying to do a back channel, because just doing one is a lot. Like right now, us three, we're trying to watch the Q&A, we're trying to watch questions on the event page. That's a lot of work. So, just keep in mind you probably run into complexity, like Matthew was saying.
So Ellen is asking what a back channel is, and that's a great question because as of, well, I didn't know what it was either, and I kept hearing it, so I totally understand. A back channel is, no, you could use today's meeting, and that would be a really simple way to do it. That's a great idea. But Ellen, a back channel is basically just like if I'm doing a Periscope and I want people to be able to ask questions, maybe I use like Twitter, and I have a particular handle on Twitter that I'm using. So if I'm doing like a Periscope on Brain Breaks, then I could make everyone that's on Twitter, they could use hashtag Brain Breaks, and then they could ask questions during my Periscope so that I could go back later and ask or answer those questions. Or, I mean, there's lots of different ways, but it's basically just another tool that you're using as a way to continue the conversation or allow them a way to ask questions and things like that. So like Jamie said, we're doing a Google Hangout right now that you're watching, but I also have a Periscope going, and then we also have, people will be asking us questions on Twitter. So those are two other tools we're using as a way for them to connect with us during this actual session. I hope maybe that makes sense. And then Matt also had a question about using the Q&A as a back channel, which is what you mentioned, Jamie, like only doing one. So yeah, I think that using the Q&A as a back channel is good because, I mean, for us it's easy because there's three of us, so we can kind of help each other out. But I think it depends on how many people are in your session, and if you have all these questions like scrolling down your screen throughout your session, I think that could get a little bit, overwhelming. And quite honestly, I don't know, maybe you do, Jamie, but is there a way to see the questions? Like right now we only see three, but I know Matthew had a question before, now it's gone. Do you know how to see the ones?
Yeah, inside of the actual Google Hangout in our chat right now, we can choose our drop down and we can choose answered questions up at the top. So right now we're looking at questions by default, but we're able to do that drop down and look at answered questions as well. I also noticed a question from Ellen saying, this is pretty crazy. Are we going to be able to have a chance to kind of practice this? If there is anything that we can do to help you guys practice, absolutely. We definitely, it's tricky, and sometimes people ask during times that we may not be available, but if you want to practice doing your Google Hangout and you need some advice or some questions, I would love to help out. I know Cassie would, Matthew, so we'll do everything we can to help you guys get set up. I know Sarah Thomas is the first one that stepped up to help me with Google Hangout on Air. She was awesome. So it really helped out for Camp Global last summer. It just takes those people kind of guidance and giving some ideas, and then from there, you can use as little of the features or as much as the features that you want. Okay, I'm going to, Matthew also says he's going to do a Google Hangout with his wife to practice. That's funny. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, okay, I'm going to come back. Okay, so I think unless Jamie or Matthew, you think of anything else, that was kind of all we wanted to go over, and I know we're about to be right at 7. I guess I just want to say again, thank you guys for doing this, and we don't want you to feel overwhelmed. So please come to us if you have questions. I've been on Voxer with people for like 3 weeks, like, okay, well this isn't working, or my hashtag's wrong, or my link is wrong, like those kinds of things. Just, we're here to help you. I will say that before, I'm here to help any way that I can, but just to let you know about myself. Okay, hold on. Fern, yes, you can use today's meet. That's a great idea for a back channel, and that one's really easy as well. Anyway, so I am now working in the summer,
So I know a lot of people have been coming to me and asking me questions, which is perfectly fine. But I do have to let you know, I don't have like an away message for everything, but I'll get back to you as soon as I get a chance. So if you're asking me and I'm not responding, don't think that I'm just like leaving you hanging there. I just wanted to throw that out there. But
I think all of us are in that same spot. So
yeah.
we'll be doing things during the day, and we will certainly try to get back to you guys as soon as we can. But, you know, we also understand it's a little nerve-wracking trying new things if you haven't done this before. So definitely a good idea to get some practice and let us know how we can help support you guys.
Yeah. Matthew, anything?
No, just keep trying things out, practice, and if you need us, we're here for you. So email us, and we'll get back with you. You can always reach out on Twitter as well if it's a simple question, because sometimes if you have a question, other people, other facilitators have that same question. So don't be embarrassed to throw out a question on Twitter. We're here to help you. And just when you're deciding on a platform, do whatever you're comfortable with, because that's going to make you more comfortable and make your audience that more into what you're talking about, because they can see your enthusiasm, not your nervousness.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, I have a question just because I think it's kind of newer. As far as the Voxer groups, they're just, and this is just for me, but it might help other people as well, because I know we have a lot more Voxer sessions this time. They're just going to the Voxer, like the website for Voxer, and that's allowing them to get into those groups, right? That's
yeah,
where
they
have taking them?
Yeah, they have to be signed in before they can join in that Voxer group.
Okay.
So go into Voxer, sign in as yourself if you're not already. Then in the calendar, when they select that link, they're automatically joined into that group. It automatically adds them to the chat.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys really quickly, just in case you need this. 1 second, I'm going to screen share, and then we will be done here. So if you go to Voxer.com, if you just type it in, can you see that, Jamie?
Yes.
Okay, so if you just go to Voxer.com and then you sign up for an account and then you log in, once they're logged in, then they'll be able to go there. Is that what you're saying? They need to log in beforehand?
Right. They're going to want to log in first, because otherwise it will just pull you to the website and ask you to log in, and you never then join the chat. So you'll want to log into Voxer first, and then once you're logged in, go back over to the calendar, click the link, and then it will automatically add you in.
Okay, and then we have one more question from Ellen. She says, will I be able to mirror my iPad screen on my laptop for my session? She already has it set up, so
That's really tricky on a Google Hang. If you're doing, Ellen, if you're doing a Google Hangout on air, I'm going to tell you that could be really tricky. It also depends on what platform or what computer you have. So I have a MacBook, and I'm able then to connect and use the QuickTime to be able to view my screen. So I just connect it to my computer. I'm able to view it on my screen, on my computer screen. And that one, you're not going to run into conflict. But when you're trying to do a live video streaming and screen sharing, and you're also reflecting your device onto your computer, there is conflict at times. So I think that's a really great question. As far as the Reflector app, I've tried to use both, and I've run into issues with both. Also, when people are trying to present from like a Google Sheets, you know, when they're doing the Google Slides. When they try to do presentation mode inside of a Google Hangout, it sometimes messes up and won't show. So I just, you know, you can run into a couple of those problems again. That would be all the more reason to just practice it and just know what Google Hangouts will work with and what it will create a problem with.
So then she says, what else would be better than using a Google Hangout? Do you have a suggestion?
You know, maybe Periscope. Maybe Periscope, you'll want to chat and then show on your screen what's happening on your computer to kind of collaborate, you know, going from, because you're going to have to show from one device to another. So I know that Cassie and I both have done Periscopes where we're showing our screen on our other device. So I'm taking my iPad, Periscoping what's happening on my phone, or vice versa, right? So that might be an option.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
Well, go ahead.
that would be an easy fix right there if it was me. But you know, again, it all is dependent. You may want to go like this. It might just be just as good from a Google Hangout, showing what's on your phone, and depending on the detail of what you're trying to show. But that is kind of some options.
All right, well, I think that's about it. Just make sure that you guys are going to the facilitators page on our website because, again, that has all the information that you're going to need. I will tweet out the link to this if you need to go back and rewatch it. But make sure you go to that facilitators page because there's tons of resources on there, how to set up a Voxer account and your Google Hangout. There's things already there for you. So make sure you go there. And then just like I said before, make sure that if you have any questions at all, that you're letting us know because we're here to help you and we don't want you to be like freaking out because you're like, well, I didn't practice. Just come, just ask us. There are no dumb questions. Trust me. This is kind of crazy.
And if you need to change your time last minute, just go into the calendar and change it last minute.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, if you want to keep it at a time frame, it's still inside of the time frame of the event. So you don't want to like make it for 2 days later. So just know that that is something that you can do. You have been given the rights to do. So, those things are there for you so that we're not having to go back and redo. So if you run into an issue because your bird's going crazy 1 hour, just make it for the night. The bird's asleep. There you go. You win.
And some of you also, and then we're going to go, some of you have been asking me about the graphics that we've been tweeting out about your sessions. And I know they have a specific time and stuff, so if you know you need to change your time, if you let me know, I can update those graphics. But some of you just want them to tweet out. Honestly, just copy it or download it, or I guess you have to save it actually. Sorry, I'm throwing out these random words. Save it on your computer, and then you guys are more than welcome to tweet those out. Or if you let me know, if you message me, then I can also give you the link to it. So, because I know a lot of people wanted those. But all right, well, we're going to jump off because we're 5 minutes over, but we really, really, really appreciate you guys. And we are really excited for this event. I'm so pumped. I can't wait. I wish it was like tomorrow. But I know you probably are like, wait, no. But it's going to be awesome, and we're really excited. So Jamie's already freaking out.
Not tomorrow, Cassie, not tomorrow.
My to-do list is a little shorter than yours then, I guess, right?
And we are accepting facilitators, any sessions up till the hour before. So if you want to do more sessions, or during the event, if you run into a time that you're like, man, I really want to do this again, go into your old calendar event, change the time, and let that be on the schedule. It'll show up another time, and just host another one. So facilitate another one. So that works out in both cases. But yeah, so we're pumped. We're excited to have you all together.
All right, we're going to go. So we will see you guys on Friday in an hour, in a week.
Wow.
A week, an hour.
All right, you want to say bye?
All right.
And definitely tweet us what you think about this hangout here, and while you're watching and participating, tweet out about it because you'll see us trending. We'll go up the trending stratosphere. It's very cool.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop, okay?
All right. Bye-bye.